was wrong about the lawn care industry. I was wrong about the business. I was wrong about the industry. I was wrong about what it took to be successful. I ain't never had no real business. I done made about I done made about 15, I done made from anywhere from 10 to 20 LLCs in my lifetime, but I had never actually took it. I'm exaggerating. I probably made between 5 and 10 LLCs. I'm talking about going down to the county and registering the LLC, paying a little fee, whatever it is, and thinking you about to start a business and never following through. So, but this is my first actual business, like pushing it, and first actual attempt at making a business was this. I'm in my 6th season right now, and the longer I stay in this business, this industry, the more I'm understanding that I really don't know what I'm doing. Year number 3, I thought I had it figured out because I was getting so many customers. My phone was ringing, and I was busy. I was starting to bring homies on. I thought I was about to have employees and a second truck, and no, I didn't really know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. Okay? I have no clue what I'm doing. I think if I just be honest with myself, then I might can figure out what I'm doing. But thinking I had it figured out caused me to jump too quick. I was talking about this earlier about one of the big mistakes I made in my business was getting a slightly newer truck before it was time, because I was like, you know what, I'm growing fast. I doubled the size of my business, which sounds like a lot, but I was only making like 70,000. I know people don't like to talk about numbers, but who cares? And of course that's not all take home. So my second or third year I was at 70,000. My business is growing super slow, but that was like a double from the year before. So I'm like, oh, if I double again, 140,000 next year, I'm in the game. So I got my truck. I pulled the trigger on my truck. And the reason I pulled the trigger on my truck, it wasn't like a vain reason. It was just, I panicked. Because my truck, the truck I had, the 2009 GMC Sierra, it just kept breaking down on me. And I'm not mechanically inclined, so I would just freak out every time it broke down, because I thought I was gonna lose customers. I thought they was gonna think I wasn't a real company. I thought it really mattered if I was a day late, or if I showed, sometimes I had to rent a U-Haul truck, and I was trying to be more than what I was, and being young in this industry, I just thought, like, an experience in this industry, any little fire, which there's always a fire, there's always something that breaks, there's always something that needs to be repaired, there's always something that goes wrong. But being new to this, I would just make it in my head more than what it was. I panicked. So I said, I gotta get a truck. Making payments on a truck like that's supposed to fix my truck issues, like it's still not gonna break down. So, and I wanted a Toyota, because I'm like, Toyotas don't break down. I gotta get a Toyota. So, long story short, I pulled the trigger too quick, and now my overhead doubled. You feel me? I went from having no truck payments, low cost insurance, to like $1,000 more. At the same time, I'm pulling the trigger on other things like marketing and putting money into, flyers, and putting money into uniform, and putting money into lettering my truck, and putting money into my CRM, like trying to go all on board with that. So too many things at one time, and I squeeze my margins thin, and also not calculating the cost of upkeep and the unforeseen things, like business don't always, it's not all linear, it's not all going uphill. Like, there's dips. Sometimes you got to figure things out. What was working yesterday don't necessarily mean it's going to work tomorrow. So I thought it was all on the up and up, and I I got squozed. I got squozed these last couple years. A tight squeeze on my finances and stuff. And not all of it was business related. Some of it was personal, you know, which I really don't want to get too deep in right now, but it's some personal things that came up and shook things up. You feel me? Just to name a few, like sending kids to school, you know, just different things like that life throws at you, deaths in the family, stuff like that, unforeseen bills. Um, so, big accounts that you get that don't necessarily work out. Like, so you start banking on money and then the money start getting funny and you might have to drop a large account, right? Because they funny with the money, or you waiting on a check, or they, just different stuff like that. And it'll set you behind. So realizing, coming from a 9 to 5 mind state, you think everything is always in the clear, but it's not always that case. So that's one thing I learned, is that I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still in the game, even though it's been a struggle. Whoa. And I'm still figuring out. But if I could go back, the biggest mistake I made was getting a truck payment, and not a small payment. I'm talking about like my truck payment, because my credit wasn't all that great, and I bought a Tundra at the time where they were selling these things at a super expensive rate, and then they slid in a warranty on it. So I'm paying on all this stuff. I had low mileage. It was like, I can't even remember. I think it was like 60 or 70,000 miles when I bought it. So all that, it got me and plus the commercial insurance, auto insurance. I'm looking at like a rack a month for the note and the insurance. So that kind of put a damper on my wiggle room. You feel me? So, and I started getting real picky with the clients I'm taking on at the same time. So I don't know if I pulled the trigger too soon on getting picky, but I was just being busy for the sake of being busy. I'm like, this not working out. Just being busy, taking on all work, because I feel like I was on a hamster wheel. Like, I'm working my ass off, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. I'm making any progress, and the client base wasn't good. So I'm at the point, I just raised prices on all my customers. I sent out my notice last month, and out of my price increase, I just did a blind increase because I was tired of like crunching numbers. So I just did a blind increase. I said $50 minimum for my weekly service, or $70 minimum for bi-weekly. I don't care if it's just a front yard. I don't care if it's whatever. I don't care if you double it in price. It is what it is. So I lost maybe like 4 or 5 customers. This month I'll see if the price increase is gonna help. But really, I was just at the point where I'm like, I was willing to kamikaze my business. I was willing to just like, hey, this is what I'm charging. Take it or leave it. I don't care anymore. Like, I'm going into my 6th year. Things ain't been working out. I'm almost over it. I was almost over it mentally. Like, I'm over it. And my body is starting to break down on me. You feel me? I got this like hill issue because I'm still push mowing. These are smaller properties, so we're push mowing. And although I haven't been really exclusively on the push mower for a while. I usually have help, and I'm like working a string trimmer or whatever. It's just my body is like, my heel specifically is just like, bro, I physically I'm out of it. So let's raise the prices. Whoever stays, cool. I'm gonna serve them and serve them well. And hopefully I'm gonna build with that foundation. I'm not gonna race down the hill and try to get everybody and think I'm gonna build this large company overnight and get out the field. Like, I don't know. I don't have the wherewithal to do it that way. So I'm gonna raise prices. I'm gonna go slow, even if it's just 3 days a week that I'm able to fill out. Like, I'm gonna make it profitable. And if I got to do something else with the rest of my time, like, fine. But working for peanuts, I can't do it. And even though I'm in this market where that's where 90% of the lawn care providers is working for absolute peanuts, when they hear my quotes and my estimates, people be so offended. You know, 70% of the time they be so offended at my estimates, but I don't care. Like, well, go find somebody that's willing to do it for peanuts, because I'm not. And I don't take no offense to it. You know, it's fine. It is what it is. But if I'm mowing your yard and trimming your shrubs, I gotta get paid what I feel like is worth it to me. So that's where I'm at. Advice. If I could give any advice to somebody that's just starting their business, I would say grind it out. Use the truck that you have. And if you're going to purchase another truck, purchase a backup truck. Instead of a new or a truck with a payment, just purchase a used backup truck that you can pay for with cash. And then when one breaks down, hop in the other one while that one's getting fixed. And just rotate back and forth. Just like, you're supposed to do with your mowers. Have a mower and a backup. And when one breaks down, just grab the backup and put that other one in the shop. That's it, man. Let me get back to work.